Angola used to be all about oil. Think of it like a one-trick pony. A very rich pony, sure, but still just one trick. Oil money was huge, it paid for a lot of things. But here's the problem with oil: its price goes up, then it goes down. It's a real roller coaster for a country's money. Angola needed something more stable, something you can count on. Relying on just one thing? That's risky business. So, they decided it was time for a big change. A change for a better, steadier future for Angolans. Oil brought in so much cash. It was like over 90% of everything Angola sold to other countries, and it made up 30% of the whole economy, its GDP. That's a big slice of the pie. But here's the catch. The oil business didn't create many jobs for Angolans. This was a significant issue for the population. So, when oil prices took a dive, everyone felt it. The whole country would get a cold. It was clear. Angola couldn't keep all its eggs in that oily basket. They needed to diversify. That became the new important buzzword. Then came President João Manuel Goncalves Lourenço. He took office back in 2017. He and his government looked around. They saw Angola had so much more to offer. It wasn't just about what's under the ground. The plan was straightforward: develop other parts of the economy, make Angola strong in many different ways. This would mean more jobs for the people, more stability for the nation. It was a new direction, a path to ensure the country wasn't just wealthy from one source, but also resilient for all its citizens in the long run. So, what's the big idea here? Diversification. That fancy word simply means not putting all your bets on oil anymore. Angola is now seriously looking at farming. Yes, good old agriculture and sunshine. They're turning to solar power for energy. These new areas can create a lot of jobs. They can help the country grow in a much steadier way, not like that unpredictable oil roller coaster. This is a huge undertaking for Angola. It's about building a safer, more prosperous future for everyone in Angola. This is Angola's big economic makeover unfolding. Angola has a lot of amazing land for farming. Just imagine vast, fertile fields ready for planting crops. But right now, only about 10% of this good land is actually used. That's a tiny part of what's truly possible. Because of this, the country imports a lot of its food. It spends around $3 billion every single year on food from other places. That's a huge amount of money leaving Angola. Growing more food locally is clearly a very smart move for the nation's economy and its people. The government has a solid plan for this. It's called the Program to Accelerate Family Farming and Strengthening Food Security. That's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but basically, it means helping small farmers grow more food. It also means making sure there's enough food for everyone in Angola. The main goal is achieving food security. This means people don't have to constantly worry about where their next meal is coming from. This important initiative is absolutely vital for the nation's well-being and future. Angola also really wants to get young people interested in farming. Right now, many young Angolans live in the cities. In fact, about 1/3 of the entire population is concentrated in the capital, Luanda. This has led to rural areas becoming depopulated. The government wants to encourage youth to return to these rural areas. They plan to do this by using modern technology in agriculture. Think about smart farms, drones, and new tools. This makes farming much more exciting and productive than before. It's about making farming cool again for the younger generation. Then there's the power of sunshine. Angola gets a massive amount of sun all year round. This is absolutely perfect for developing solar energy. Solar power can bring much-needed electricity to many places. This is especially true for rural areas where many people still live without reliable power. Currently, only about 48% of Angolans have access to electricity. In urban areas it's higher at 76%, but it's much lower in the countryside. Solar energy can also help power farms, making agriculture more efficient and supporting overall rural development. Angola's economy is definitely showing some good signs of improvement. The real GDP growth forecast for 2024 was initially thought to be around 1.4%. But guess what? It was revised significantly upwards to 3.4%. This positive change happened because the first quarter of 2024 was much stronger than anyone expected. Also, the outlook for oil output improved a bit, which helps. This is really good news for the short term. It means the economy is moving in a positive direction, which is very encouraging for the entire nation. Looking a little further ahead, Angola's GDP is projected to reach $107 billion in the year 2025. If this happens, it would make Angola the 8th largest economy in Africa. That's a pretty big deal, you have to admit. However, economic growth is expected to slow down a little to 1.5% in 2025. This is mainly because of a predicted decline in exports. But there's hope. Increasing foreign investment in the oil and gas sectors could offer some support and help balance this out. The economic journey always has its ups and downs. Another very big part of Angola's economic plan is privatization. This basically means selling some companies that were previously owned by the government. The ProPriv program initially aimed to privatize 195 public companies. By the end of the first phase of this program, 96 of these companies were successfully privatized. This process generated over $1 billion for the country. In 2023, 73 more assets and companies were added to the privatization list. Even the large state-owned oil company, Sonangol Group, is on this list. The target is to complete these by 2026. Big construction and infrastructure projects are also playing a key role. The Lobito Corridor is a major example of this. This is a very important railway line. It helps to move goods from neighboring countries like the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, and Zambia. These goods can then be exported through Angola's ports to the rest of the world. Angola also provides the nearest and most convenient port access for the DRC. This kind of infrastructure is absolutely crucial for boosting trade and connecting the entire region much better. It's about creating clear pathways for economic success. Angola is making some real progress in the fight against corruption. Since President Lourenço took office in 2017, things have started to improve in this area. On the Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index, Angola was ranked 121st in 2023. Now this might still sound high, but it's actually a noticeable improvement from its ranking back in 2015. Less corruption means a fairer system for everyone. It helps businesses operate more smoothly and makes the country much more attractive for foreign investment. This is a crucial step for building trust and improving overall efficiency. The government is also actively trying to lessen state intervention in some sectors. This is particularly true for the oil sector, which has historically been heavily state-controlled. They are working hard to enhance the rule of law. This means making sure that laws are clear, fair, and applied equally to everyone. This kind of environment creates more stability and predictability for businesses to operate and grow successfully. These ongoing reforms are very important for the long-term health of Angola's economy. They aim to make the entire system work better for all Angolans. However, it's important to be realistic. Angola still faces some pretty big challenges. Unemployment is very high across the country. The overall rate is around 30%. And for young people under the age of 25, it's even worse, at a staggering 53%. This is a very serious problem that needs urgent attention. The literacy rate is also quite low, which makes it much harder for people to find good, skilled jobs. Access to electricity is still limited for many Angolans, especially in rural areas. These are tough issues that require continued focus and sustained effort, so Angola is definitely on a journey of transformation. There are many positive steps being taken. The strategic shift towards agriculture and solar power is very exciting. Economic growth projections and new infrastructure projects like the Lobito Corridor bring a lot of hope. Efforts to reduce corruption are also very good signs, but significant challenges like high unemployment and educational deficiencies need a lot more work. The upcoming 2027 election will be very important too. The new leadership will need to continue these vital reforms to ensure a brighter and more prosperous future for all Angolans.